Thanks for checking out our channel. This is going to be a hopefully repair video on a Gallagher M2800i. This is a 28 store joule, I think like 18 output, something like that. This is the earlier version. They make an MBS 2800i now. It came out like, let's see, we're 2024. Came out like 2017, somewhere in that range when they came up with that model. So this is a little bit older version. This is they don't share. They share, I think, some transformers or capacitors are the same, but the boards are both different. This particular one's a 2015 model, but this one is straight 110 volt. This is not the dual powered AC/DC model. We'll plug it in here and see what it does. I've also got the little display piece with it, and that's plugged in. It's all plugged in. See, it's not turning on. There's no green light, no display. So the only time we ever see these I series units come in is lightning. I've never seen a quirky issue with these things. Typically, it's almost always due to power surge, lightning, something like that. So I'll flip this around this way. But if you got one of these, they make the back when this was being produced. I think 2013 is when the I series like launched itself. Maybe 2012, somewhere in that range. And they made an M1200i, which is a very bare bone basic version. It couldn't do as much. Accessories couldn't work with that version like it came with this one. And then they had the M2800i and the M1800i, and then they, of course, later on they went to the MBS models and stuff like that. So let's take this thing apart here and see what we got going on the inside. There's the right screw, the right bit. Yep. There's this 2 screws holding it in the back. They're a torque screw, and then. Now, real quick, if you've got one of these, I would be very hesitant of opening it up and jacking around with anything, because there's capacitors inside. There's about, I think I'll open up here, so I think it's 3 or 4, and they got to sit in a certain way, or the dumb case will not close, and you'll fight with that thing for hours, sometimes trying to get the thing to close. So I try not to touch too much inside here. There's the unit with all its magic, and it's got 3 capacitors. There's 2 here, and another one sits underneath. Get your main board and your logic board. It talks to everything. Get your output transformer and all your terminal wires and terminal bolts all right here. Power cord comes in over here at this little wire here that runs up, plugs into this board, runs up and over, hooks over here, and then you've got this this wire here that goes from here and jumps over there as well. Well, the first thing I want to do is, there's a fuse over here, so we'll pop this fuse off. Whoops. I forget what size it is. I think it's a 1 amp 250 volt fuse. It's a slow blow type. So put our meter on continuity. It looks okay, but sometimes that filament will look good. It's a little thick looking, but sometimes it burns up or breaks loose on the 2 outside edges here. Well, fuse is fine. Alright, so why won't the dumb thing power on? Since the fuse is good. Something's telling it not to work. The easiest thing to change first, without dicking around with this board here, is this board. Because I mean, you got all these wires get unplugged, but I don't want to screw on with those capacitors if I can help it. So let me walk over to my parts shelf where I keep the Gallagher stuff at and see if I've got the board for this model. So give me just a moment here. Alright, got the board here. So we're gonna But yeah, look what's this board are all these chips and things and whatever. All kinds. I always call them doodads. All kinds of doodads on the board. All right, so let's try to remember where all this stuff goes. So this button plugs there. That one plugs there. That's easy, Bart. Now, yeah. Need those pliers probably get these wires off. Sometimes you can get them off by hand. Sometimes you gotta squeeze on a little tab down there, which this one is fighting me, so I gotta squeeze the tab on there. Come on. There's female spade connector, but they got like a little catch on it. You gotta grab just right so it won't release it. Yep, see something burnt up right there. Which feeds across this area here, which then this is over there. So we may still have issues with this board, but I don't know yet until I get this replaced. Alright, so we've got this yellow wire. They're all labeled which wire goes where. This is an earth wire, goes there. Got the black wire goes next. Goes there. And this little board sits right there. There. This one goes here. Alright, so now we've got let's plug in our display. What was that one reading? Reading good? Should be. Let's see what happens. Powered on for a second, and then it shut off. So most likely we've got more wrong with this thing. Now the fun part. Well, this board's going to stay put, so we know we need to change out that, but now we got to work on getting the board out that I don't like messing with, because, like I said, if you get one wire or you get the capacitors out of whack just a little bit somewhere, it just will not close. And there's little tricks that I can do to help with putting it back together, but sometimes those tricks don't still fight you. You get all these freaking wires that you gotta plug. Oh yeah, that's all burnt up on the back side as well. With the trace off there, burned up where all these little things are. Now this trace is completely burned away. It looks like it's there, but it's not. It's all burnt off. So it did get hit with a surge. Also, I was telling you this. So these Gallagher units. I mean, if you exclude, you can see the black stuff down there in the case right here. See all that? So you can't see it from the front side. Looked okay, but once you pull it out, there's the magic. Smoke that got let loose whenever this thing took a hit. So let's go get another main board. We'll replace both those, and I imagine the thing will fire right back up because capacitors hardly ever go bad. I've rarely ever had to change a transformer, maybe once in the last 15 so years that this model's been around. And I think it was lightning related issue as well. So let me go get a main board for it now. Alright, got the new board here. So let's get this. I do it the hard way because I don't want to get this capacitor out of the way too much. Come on, get over there. There it goes. Because it has no screws holding down. It's just held in by itself. You know, it gets these little clips and these little pieces of plastic on the back case that will push into certain points on the board and keep it in place like that way. Okay, so now we're going to put these wires in the right spot. This is where it gets a little fun too. So two sets of brown capacitor wires. You got to get those right. Hopefully the blue one goes back, or this case goes back together. It's going to fight me, I'm sure. Blue. Other blue. Okay, let's get these wires kind of tucked down. Dreading trying to put this thing back together here in a minute. Come on. Grab this display piece. There it goes. Alright, let's see what it puts out. Right, shows 7.8 kV, and the display shows 8. That's close enough. Let's run it through its paces real quick. Let's go 500 ohm load. We're at 3.4 joules. Let's go to a 200 ohm load. We're at 8 joule output. Let's go to 100 ohm loads. Really, I'll load it down hard. We're at 11 joule output at 5.3 kV. If I had a heavier load, we could even bring this down even more and probably get to climb to 18 joules, but I don't have any of these smaller loads I can hook up. This is it's made for external loads as well as what these blue numbers are for, and I don't have any external loads that go down out to the 50 ohm and 75 ohm range. Now this big resistor here, but I think it's a well, this is a 75 ohm load, so we could probably hook that on there. Let's turn this off for a second so I don't hurt myself. Let's put this right here. We'll pull these off real fast and we'll hook up the ring connector over that. And we'll hook that. Alright, then we'll set our onto external load, blue. We're at 75 ohm, but we're on range number 2. I think it's the third one from the bottom. Alright, so now we'll turn this on for a second. Alright, flip the switch on. We're at 13 joules at 4.6 kV. That's the heaviest load I got with me. If we could get this down to 25 ohm, it'd probably climb to that 18 joule range. But this is the heaviest load I got. Let's take this load off there now, this big resistor. Let's see what the pulse speed is on this. Let's put this down to here, down to there. No load. And I'll see how fast and slow or this thing pulses. Alright, it pulls about every 1.5 seconds. That's what the number is on the left. And the shock duration on the fence line is 0.14 milliseconds. So pretty standard pulse. Alright, now let's see if we can get the dumb thing back together. Almost. It's hanging up here on this half over here. There it goes. That was a trick. Alright, those things back together again. The customer's going to get a 1.5 year warranty on those two parts. And lightning damage is part of our warranty. But these are pretty expensive to replace. They're about $1,400 plus or minus, maybe more than that, for the M2800i version. But this one's back together again and be ready to go for hopefully another 10 years or longer. You never know what's going to go on with these Gallagher units. They're pretty reliable overall. We don't see a lot of them come in except for when they're hit by lightning. If you could exclude that, these things would go a long time. But that's why you pay for their stuff. You pay a premium for them because they're reliable. But lightning's about the only Achilles heels they got with these things. So this thing's 8 years old and been running probably fine until then. And then Storm got it. But thanks again for watching my video. Talk to you later.